Hi, welcome back. So, guys, as part of the previous session, we have seen a brief overview about the various locator strategies, right? So, we have created a simple program. Now, what I want to do right now here is let us take the same Swag Labs source demo application itself. Let us try to interact with the username field, password field, and the login button. Interact itself means let's fill in the details like a username field, enter some value, password field, enter some value, login button, click on click on that particular login button. So what I'm gonna do right now here is let me create a new test, source demo login dot spec dot ts. I just created it, and here whatever the browser launch spec content is there, I just copied it and I just placed it here to save my time, which is an importing part and creating this particular test. And this test, log into source demo application. Okay, this is what a login into a source demo application is. So here, if you remember the previous session, basically page.locator, we haven't used an await, right? Let me try to use the same way. Page.locator, and I haven't noticed that it does has a username field. So right click, let me reload this particular web page. Right click on a username field, inspect. It does has an ID. Whenever it does has an ID, you can directly use a hash out over there. So here hash username, and in order to enter a value into that particular one, we need to use a fill. So basically fill is a command that we need to use. Okay, fill is a command, the method that we need to use in order to enter a value into that particular field. Okay, in order to enter the value into that particular field, press the tab. My copilot is automatically prompting that. Press the tab. So if you look at the browser, the username here is the standard username. That's what the value is, and of course it updated the appropriate value. Now the same way here, page dot locator, and this time I want to get the password. It's prompting me, my copilot. I'm just using a tab button there, and of course for the login button also I just pressed the tab button. Perfect. Let me cross check whether the password and the login button are having the same IDs or not. Right click on a password field, inspect. The password is having an ID as a small cases as a password, that's fine. And the login button, let us right click and inspect this particular login button, and also it does has a login button, the same ID. It's performing a click operation on that. So the point here is whenever there is a text field, you need to use a fill. Whenever there is a button, you need to perform a click operation on it. You just need to perform a click operation on it. Perfect. And whenever you mouse over on this particular fill, it is returning a promise. And whenever you mouse over on a click, of course, it is returning a promise. So all these things are returning a promise. So which means it's mandatory for us to add an await. Okay, to add an await before every command. Okay, so that's it. Perfectly all right. So I have created this one, and if you observe right now, it is suggesting me to add a pass. Okay, it is suggesting me to add a pass here. Okay, it is suggesting me to add a pass here. Okay, so what is the significance of a pass? Okay, so what exactly the significance of this particular pass is basically, right? So the significance of this particular pass here is it will wait for few seconds. Okay, it will pass the execution. Okay, it will pass that particular execution. Whenever the pass comes into the picture, it will pass that particular execution. Rather than putting the pass at the end, I'm putting the pass right after the opening the application. Perfectly all right. Now I just want to execute my program. Let me pull my terminal here, and I just want to execute this program, which is the source demo login spec. So here, this is the one. Right click, rename, copy this name, update the name here, .ts, and I'm launching it in an headed mode. Okay, perfect. Of course, we can also run this particular one, but we need to make sure that inside the testing, inside the Playwright configuration, whether the browser is checked or not. So here, inside this particular Playwright, we just need to make sure that the browser is checked or not, the show browser. Either of these things is fine. I have enabled this show browser. Moving further, if I click on this particular play button, it will launch the browser. That's fine. But now let me try to execute here in this particular way. So when I try to run it, see it launched a Swag Labs and it took a pass there. As in when you have a pass, okay, it's prompting you, okay, the Playwright Inspector. Okay, in the Playwright Inspector, you do have an option to play this particular script so that you can check out whether it is interacting or not. So here, as in when the pass got encountered, so in the Playwright Inspector, I was picking this F6, which is, sorry, F10, the step over. So once the pass is done, so it is trying to interact with the username field. The username got a highlighted, and if you perform that, it entered the value. Now it's trying to perform the password field, hence the control switch it to that, and it is highlighting that. And if you perform this particular operation, the value got entered. Now it is on a login button, so it is highlighting that particular button as well. And when you perform this step over, it is performing that particular operation as well. Okay, it is performing that particular operation as well. And if you look at this particular log, so okay, it entered this, so a detailed log got a captured here. And even for the password also, a detailed log waiting for the element, and for the click also, a detailed log got a captured. And as part of the locators tab, you can identify that particular locator. Okay, as part of that particular locators tab, you will be identifying that particular locator. See here, that we will be looking at as part of the next session. Not about this locators right now. We will be looking at this particular locators as part of the next session. Moving on to the log. So this is the way. And if I click continue here, the execution will be terminated. And if you look at your program, basically the script execution is a successful. So this is the way how exactly we can execute your script. So let me comment this particular pass for now. And as and when you clicked on this particular play button, it's trying to launch the browser, it's performing the operation, and that's the way how exactly you need to deal with it. Okay, one test case got executed and one test got a passed. This is the way how exactly you can create a basic program. See here, this is passed. And for the individual commands, you can see the timeout stating that it took these many milliseconds to execute this particular time. For all the commands, it's just showing it up. So this is the way how exactly we can create a basic program here. Okay, perfectly all right. See you again in the next session. Thank you.